The first time I failed to effectively advocate for my daughter, she almost died. I had just given birth, and for 2 days I tried unsuccessfully to get help. I wanted to breastfeed, but my milk hadn't come in, and so I repeatedly asked for a bottle, but a bottle never came. She was cold, so cold and pale. They swaddled her in blanket after blanket after blanket and placed several newborn caps on her head. By the time someone finally listened to me, she was hurriedly whisked away to the neonatal intensive care unit. I was later discharged and heartbroken to have to leave the hospital without my baby. That was not the way I would have scripted her early days of life. So take a moment and reflect with me on all of the growth and development that a new baby makes. It is astounding. In less than 1 year, a helpless newborn becomes a curious little baby who has learned to smile and to coo and to laugh, a baby who's learned to reach out for items and to roll over, to sit up unassisted, and then to crawl and cruise and creep, to walk and talk and so much more. And those of us who care for these little ones are expected to help them every step of the way. But what happens when development is delayed? When milestones go unmet? What happens when things don't progress as expected? My first attempt at advocating for my newborn was a flop. And although she survived her NICU experience, nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, about her developmental trajectory went according to plan. In the early years of her life, I had numerous opportunities, challenges, and even some failures as I learned to effectively advocate and care for someone with multiple medical complexities. A child with a genetic condition so rare, it doesn't even have a real name, just some numbers and letters indicating missing extra and duplicated chromosomes. But over the years, I have learned how to care for someone who will never be able to care for herself. For the past 2 decades now, I have been sharing my caregiving experiences to mentor, inspire, and encourage others. I give of my time and my energy to serve on committees and councils with doctors and nurses, social workers and chaplains. I serve with therapists and educators, researchers, parents, and fellow caregivers. I've had the opportunity to teach medical students by inviting them into our home and allowing them to experience firsthand what it's like to have to care for someone who needs assistance with all of her activities of daily living. That means feeding and bathing, dressing and grooming, toileting. We're still doing that 20 years in. Toileting and administering medications. I talk to the students about what I call family as patient, because it really is the entire family that needs care and support. And every year I have opportunities to speak on the importance of advancing patient and family-centered care. And I share these ideas with professionals and lay people alike, helping them to understand the myriad ways in which families experience the overwhelm of underwhelming support. And yet, support can come in some unexpected ways. I recall years ago where the leadership at our local children's hospital listened to us parents as we sat around sharing instances where we had to take our children out of their wheelchairs and place them on the bathroom floor for diaper changes because they were too large to fit on the infant changing tables. I scoured that hospital, and I learned that the C-suite ladies' room had the cleanest of floors. And I must admit that I startled an executive on more than one occasion as she literally bumped into me while I sat on the floor changing my child. Leadership listened. They heard. They responded. And now, adult-sized changing tables are installed in all of the family restrooms. Parents and caregivers no longer have to strain their backs as they try to transfer their non-ambulatory children and adolescents. And most importantly, our children have their dignity. I had learned from early failures how to achieve success, and that was an advocacy win. Recent estimates indicate that here in the US, there are anywhere between 53 and 100 million adults and well over 5.4 million children and teens that are providing care for a friend, a family member, or a loved one. That means 1 out of every 5 adults is a caregiver. As a result, I am resolute in my belief that every person is an accident, mishap, or medical emergency away from needing life-altering, prolonged care. Someone you love may need you to sacrifice your time, your talent, your treasure for their very survival. That means you are closer to being a caregiver than you imagine. We plan and prepare for all types of activities, from dinner dates and vacations to college and retirement. But most people neither plan nor prepare for caregiving. And yet, you're closer to being a caregiver than you imagine. Begin to imagine. That's the challenge to you this evening. Begin to imagine. How might your life change when an aging parent or grandparent needs your help? Begin to imagine. Who will help you care for an ill spouse or child? What will you do? How will you support a sibling, a grandchild, or some other loved one in need? Begin to imagine. And you, what if you are the person in need of care? Who will help you? And do they know? What if you're unable to work? Where will you live? What will you do? Can you afford care, short-term, long-term? Begin to imagine. The clarion call is clear. How will you respond? It's closer than you imagine. Don't wait to imagine. Prepare. Thank you.